All right, Poodle family, how we doing? Hey, I had no background music on this time going into it. Well, because one time I forgot to turn it off, and second, because I found out YouTube definitely it likes to see that as copyrighted music. So that's why it's always taking a while to get the stream up. So we're changing that. You're going to see this quick and able to post and share. So hopefully you've got the link to share this. Let's get everybody out there, everyone in the Poodle world in and watching this one, because this is going to be a fantastic episode. A couple things I want to get into, some house cleaning things before we get into our guest today. So here's the thing. There is a tax-free flash sale going on right now. Like literally, we know how this works, right? We are a deflationary token, which means when you buy or sell, there is a tax, the 10% tax that comes out. Well, right now we are doing, and I say we, I really mean the token is doing a buy at no tax. So therefore, this is a great opportunity. I threw another BNB's worth. I'm like, yeah, get me that extra 17 billion tokens. I'll take it. So what a great opportunity, everybody, to see the way that we are taking this community, whether it be from doing Twitter and the Poodle Olympics and now doing a flash sale and just finding all these ways to be creative, to build the holders. And I think that that's great. And we're already seeing a lot of new holders come into the token. So if this is your first time watching the show, again, my name is Joe, and I am just a normal member of the community, just like you. I love just spending one half hour a week just talking about the token and how the community is and things that we're doing and the good we're doing. Hopefully you enjoyed last times where we talked about our charity, and this time we are there's really no further ado. We've got one of our admins, Sasha, on the on the call today. Just wait till you hear this. We did a pre-meeting today, and I just sat back listening and learning. So I guess with no further ado, Sasha, welcome to the show. He's calling in, and one of our admins, and you will hear why. So just first off, welcome. Just tell everyone just who you are, what you do for Poodle, and maybe if you want to get into just a little bit of your background and how you got to this point.
Okay, well, thanks, Joe, for having me on. Really, really good to be here. So I'm Sasha. My background is, where do I start? Essentially, I've got about 25 years experience across sales and marketing, particularly in tech firms, predominantly either taking small businesses to be bigger businesses or taking departments within big businesses to do better, whether that's a physical team or a virtual team. So I've worked everywhere from a 5-man employee company startup environment to global corporations. I'm kind of semi-retired now, live in the sunshine. Have worked on a few things that have piqued my interest. And one of those in particular that I fell in love with instantly was Poodle. Just from a project standpoint, the team immediately stood out to me. The offer that we have and the scope of potential with this project for me is fantastic. Doing what I do, which is cover, the marketing side of things, looking at the strands of where we can take this from where we are now to where we want to be. Hopefully, obviously working with everybody else in the team, and we are a team. So, no one person makes any decision. We vote on everything, and the community votes as well on big decisions. So it's great to be part of that kind of an environment. We're truly democratizing finance here.
Yeah.
That's me, and that's my personal background.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love just seeing you and how active you are, because you're an inspiration to a lot of us, especially who are just on the Telegram, and just seeing your guidance through here. So I kind of want to open up with a big question a lot of people are wondering, and that is, okay, we know that we see all these random new tokens all the time, right? When the dog thing the dog, dog token took off, earlier this year,
Yeah.
there weren't a lot. Now there seems to be some new shitcoin that's coming out almost every day, right? So what makes Poodle special? What makes you go, you know what, this is the one, this is what, we all should be focusing on, and not all the other crap that kind of just keeps popping up and then disappearing which says a lot about the fact that we're still here and growing, right? I mean, there's so many have disappeared and we haven't. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a new tiny baby puppy shitty Inu pops up every single day. And the reason for that is there are platforms out there, anybody with a few grand can go and get a smart contract built, stick some liquidity into it, do nothing in terms of some of the safeguards that we've built into Poodle, such as being fully audited by Solidity Finance, locking away liquidity for 5 years, which protects our investors. And with our tokenomics, the liquidity pool grows with every transaction. So, we talk about, and we see tokens being rugged on a daily basis, the shiny new bright thing that someone wants to invest in. Mm-hmm. And then we see the tears 3 days later when their money's gone down the drain, the admins have gone, and, they're just left to pick up the pieces. We're the exact opposite of that. We're locked. We're stable, locked. We have a team of dedicated people who are, whether you see them, front of house or back of house, who are working away diligently on the project. And some of the key differentiators are, we do have a strong community. So some of the community are more active than others, and we all see that. However, there is a core community of people that hold Poodle. You've only got to look at the tough times that the markets had recently, and we're not immune to that in any way, shape, or form. But we haven't. We've kept our 26,000 holders. Mm-hmm. It dropped. I think it dropped by about 15 to 30, maybe. And when I look today, it's now back up above where it had dropped from in terms of holder numbers. With the promotions and the flash sale and some of the initiatives that we're rolling out very, very soon, I suspect those holder numbers will increase massively. And don't forget, those holder numbers don't include holder numbers on central exchanges. Yep. So that's just PancakeSwap. So our holder numbers are probably closer to between 50 and 60,000 rather than the 26,000 that you see on the chart in the price room. There's a lot of differentiators and areas where we stand out. We do what we say we're going to do. We look after our community. I mean, you've only got to look at the V1 to V2 migration. Mm-hmm. I mean, what other token, is going to compensate people who didn't follow clear instructions and, would have otherwise been, cast away, basically, and cast adrift, should I say. We've compensated many people who could have done, could have gone through the process and been compensated that way. So, we're absolutely a project that looks after people. We've got some great minds within the team. I mean, some of the things that are talked about and that are in the works behind the scenes are amazing. I mean, there's only so much we could talk about here. And by the way, I can talk the hind legs off a donkey. So if I just ramble on,
you know what? I'm just listening. Everybody's sitting here. Everyone wants to hear you talk. So this is going to be your platform today. But can we actually? You brought up something, and I've said this on a previous episode of, especially when you look in the terms of how many tokens just are there and then disappear 3 days later with everybody's money. How much easier would have been for really all you admin, everyone who was behind this project early, could just bail on it at V1 and not even create a version 2. It would have been so much easier to just say, okay, we're out. Great idea, didn't work, see ya. But instead, It was, no, we've built a community and a project we believe in, and let's figure out how to keep it going. Let's save it. Let's save people's money. Let's even help those who haven't, follow, like you said, followed the directions, and figure out how to keep it moving forward. And I think that, if anything, says a lot about the token. It's that, because it would have been a lot easier just to say, bye-bye, we're out, right? But you didn't do that. So can you talk more about, and maybe, you could pull back a couple layers of the onion. Like, what was that like? Well, how did those decisions get made, in general? Or you can just talk about as an admin team, how do you start to say, this is what we need to do? Who comes up with a flash sale idea? Like, talk about the background logistics there of how the dynamics between you all. And I know that.
Okay, well, with respect to the V1, V2 migration, I wasn't officially on the team at that point. So kudos to the guys. Absolutely. And the rest of, P, Moose and Nico and Para and all the guys and Rez who are behind the actual migration, and the guys who put funds in to essentially save a whole community from losing everything, which is what they did. They put their own money in. Yeah, they took over what was in effect an absentee contract from a developer who was long gone, and his time was ready, where the liquidity on that project was going to unlock. And we also, what happened just after it did on Whitebit, when it was just drained. So without the guys in the admin team, then 100% of Poodle holders would have lost probably 100% of everything.
Well, and that had to help you.
You've got to really give.
And I was going to say, that had to help you have confidence then, and then step in. If you weren't there, now we watched this happen. So now talk about that dynamic now with everybody, and what is it like now as part of the admin team?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great. It inspired confidence then. It inspires confidence now. Crypto is a strange world. I mean, we all know there are a lot of scammers out there. We see them every day in our own inboxes. We see the rug pull tokens. To find people that are actually willing to put their necks and their money on the line to save others from being in that position is a special project, believe me. There aren't many that would do it. There aren't many, I don't know any others that have done it. And to keep it going and to make it stronger as it is now, I actually believe the project is stronger now than it's ever been, in terms of the skill sets we have, in terms of the focus and some of the utility strands that we have coming up. It's great to see. It's great to see. I mean, and as a team, although we have certain responsibilities, whereas I'm marketing, for example, but we all chip in when needed to do anything that needs to be done. So it's kind of we've got a broad range of skill sets. We've got Mika, who's the exchanges expert. She handles the listings really, really well. And what a lot of the guys in the community don't understand is there's so much work goes into that. To get us listed on an exchange is not just a case of sign a contract, there we go, we're listed, hey. The amount of work behind the scenes to make that happen is immense. I mean, I'm kind of front of house, so you'll see me quite a lot in the room. You'll see me on Twitter. You'll see me on social media at the Poodle Olympics, that kind of thing. But a lot of the other guys are the ones doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes. So altogether, it's a great team that we have. And we have a great dynamic.
Yeah, and
some great plans.
You can tell it. So let's get into that. What are the things that you're excited about coming up in the future?
Well, I mean, the great thing, and another thing that attracted me to Poodle is there's so many possibilities. We've got a broad range of appeal, and a number of key areas that we will focus on, or that I hope we will focus on. Again, it's a team decision. We all, and a community decision. We all decide which direction we go in. But in terms of things that are already in progress, and things that we are already kind of working on, agreed on, or that have partially happened and are happening right now, we've got the charity angle. So we've already got official charities in place. We're looking to expand into community charity work. So something that Elle did, for example, I think it was Elle. Well, I know it was Elle.
Mm-hmm.
She did the where she went and donated personally to a shelter, took a little Poodle logo that she printed off. Great PR, and we from a marketing perspective need to make more of that, and will make more of that, and want to encourage more of the community to do that kind of thing, because there are lots and lots of people out there. 98%, probably more, of people don't own any crypto at all. 100% of dog lovers love dogs. Yep. Yeah. So we've got those guys to go at. What a great message. You can invest a little bit, help at the same time, be part of a community that cares for animal welfare, and see the results of that. And the interview you did last week was great in terms of our official charity work. Mm-hmm. And I think it was 6 kids specifically that we'd helped. 6 lives that we'd helped change. That for me is another unique for the project. We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk, and we show it. Mm-hmm. In addition to that, some other exciting stuff. We've got a utility strand in terms of, you've probably heard me talking about the wearables, our Nike collab with a partner called Crypto Kicks, who do custom design Nikes, which we may or may not have a design for, I suspect, within the next day or so, for the first couple of pairs that are going to be out. But the Nike shoes themselves are really the bells and the cherry on the top. Mm-hmm. The real meat of this collaboration is that the partner that we've chosen are about to redefine the NFT space with 3D wearable NFTs. And these NFTs, are already accepted on some big platforms out there. Places like Sandbox, virtual reality platforms, augmented reality. It's a dream right now, but I posted a video the other day of those 3 spinning coins of Poodle. Imagine those 100 feet high over Fifth Avenue, and you can only see it through your phone. Yeah. We can use geolocation, for example, to put those tokens in places. This is talking about possibilities. So where we're at now is the stuff that you've seen, and we will release some of the wearable stuff within the next probably 24 hours, I suspect. But in terms of the augmented reality, there are so many possibilities that we could do with that. Imagine, we all remember the Pokemon game where you could only see the Pokemon characters through your phone, for example. Imagine, on a monthly basis, we drop 5 virtual Poodle tokens in locations at dog shelters. And whoever's the first to go there and donate $25 gets 1 billion Poodle. I don't know. It's just an idea. But these are the kind of concepts that we can look at. It's really bleeding edge technology. It's not even cutting edge. It's bleeding edge, right at the forefront of that. And these guys are working with us as our team to help us in that space. So those 2 areas kind of cover mass adoption type of crypto. The wearables, by the way, will be both buyable and tradable in Poodle.
Love it.
So hopefully we build a cycle of people buy Poodle to buy the wearables. They trade them in Poodle on different platforms. Volume increases, price increases. It becomes a kind of snake eating its tail, and gets fatter and fatter and fatter, and more people buy Poodle just purely for those reasons. Mm-hmm. And then we've got the crypto strand, the pure crypto stuff. So we've heard a lot about the much vaunted wood chipper, which our magician Moose is working on, which again is going to be great. Other things down the road that have been discussed, wallet, maybe an Ethernet bridge. Sorry, Ethernet. That's my old tech. Technology coming out. Ethereum bridge. There's lots and lots of things in the works being discussed at various stages. And this is one of the most exciting projects that I've worked on in my career. I love it.
Yeah, I love this because it's forward thinking. It's thinking, okay, how can we, and I've said this actually early on, was the secret to building Poodle in the long run is not necessarily focus on the chart every day, but focus on building the brand. And if we build the brand and you make the brand cool and you find ways to integrate the brand into other spaces. And when I think about like what you're doing, there's nothing cooler for the new generation. You know, I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm in my mid 40s. I'm a little past, but if you look at the teenage, the 20s generation, to be able to take virtual worlds and bring because it's a virtual token, right? But you can bring it into a real world through augmented reality, virtual reality, be able to turn it into a payment platform, start to make it. And that's not just utility, it's an entertainment utility, but also it now adds function to its form, right? And I think that's really the key. And it's so neat to think like when I was saying early on about building the brand, it was, okay, cool, we come out with t-shirts. Well, this is not just a t-shirt, right? I mean, this is really taking your identity and being able to now have it for good. I love the ideas of turning it into a Pokemon style. I love the ideas of having real life wearables and virtual life wearables. I love the idea of people being able to buy, sell, trade via Poodle. I mean, I think every crypto would like that, but in finding it and taking the NFTs and all to a whole different level than anyone has ever thought of. And that's what I really like about this. And I don't think that a lot of people actually understand because the projects are still, there's been a lot of teasers, but there hasn't been yet, it's still kind of, we're working on it. But I think everyone needs to know if you're doing something never done, you can't just flip it around in a day. Right. And so therefore it takes that time to be able to push that forward. So that's really, really exciting. So talk more about that. Like how do you see that vision, that future? We talked earlier about kind of the next generation of crypto and the younger kids and so speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, so some of it is there now in terms of the platforms that these guys are using. I mean, I saw something today that was incredible, which is someone holding up their phone and someone else filming their phone, but seeing someone walk down the street in a full 3D NFT skin, basically. So this guy's got a Viking helmet on or whatever, and he's got a huge sword on his back and all that kind of thing. In reality, he just had a t-shirt and a pair of jeans on, but through the augmented reality app on his phone, that's how he appears. And that would also be the same through things like Oculus, for example. The Oculus Rift. So some of this stuff is going to be usable within games that are already out there, and I'm no spring chicken, shall we say. So a lot of it is new to me, but it's so, forward thinking. The kids today are going to be the next, the next step in tech. And that's why the team that we're working with, the Crypto Kicks, they're all in their 20s. They've been software developing for quite a few years. They've got graphic designers on their team, and they're really helping us drive this particular collaboration through. We've also got another collab, for example. I mean, talking about games, we've got Panther. So that game has been redesigned. We all saw the initial version, which had a Poodle that wasn't really our Poodle, but that version 2 is due for release this month. That will have our official Poodle skin on. Nice. It will also have individual leaderboards. So as well as us playing against those guys who've been playing the game for months and would slaughter us, we can have inter-token competitions for prizes, give away NFTs, give away bundles of tokens. But we can also do it internally because we'll have our own internal Poodle leaderboard. Who's the best of the game within Poodle? So there's that element of the game's thread as well. I mean, there's quite a lot of things that are visionary or that are part of the way through that we can't talk about specifically. And the reason for that is we've got such a lot to go at, and what I don't want to do is to nail myself to a cross. So if I say this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and that's going to happen, and it doesn't, because for whatever reason we decided to go down a different path, then that's some of it's still in the works. But in terms of concrete things that we have, we've got the charity angle, we have the gaming, we have the wearables, we've got the 3D NFTs, the augmented reality is there already. It's been designed, it's coming already on platforms that are well established with millions of users, and that will be, as I said, both buyable and tradable in Poodle. So that gives us easy.
So all right, so then if I buy something using Poodle, am I still allowed to click the little / I've never sold? Because your balance goes down, right? Technically. So I just want to make sure that if you're using Poodle for Poodle, then they still counts. You haven't sold, right? All right, there we go. I'm making that one up right now.
Well,
now
only if you top up.
That's right. That's right. Just keep buying it up, right? No, I love it. So now, one question I want to ask, 'cause I think this is important, and we had talked about this offline, and it's about you're doing a lot of stuff. The admin team is doing a lot of stuff, but how can now the average community holder help out the token besides just buying more, or just, and we all know, get on Twitter and shill and do those things, but what can we do? And like the example I used earlier is, I have a skill, I got a little setup, I can record a podcast, I kind of have experience doing it. This is my way of just giving back into the community, doing a little something to help us out, and maybe everybody has their little thing, but what are some tangible things how the average person can help, or vice versa? Maybe people have a skill. How can they reach out to be able to add? Can you talk to just the average holder wondering how to push this token up forward?
I mean, we have some great people in the community, and we have some talented people as well in their own fields. I mean, maybe look at what you do, either in your hobby life or your real life. See if there's any way you could poodleize it, or bring Poodle into it, or we've got a guy, for example, and I must apologize, but I've forgotten who's doing it now. But someone set up a Steam gaming room, which is great, because it's fantastic. So again, we get gamers on board. Because that's his particular niche, that's his area where he's got people that he can potentially bring into the project from another angle. They wouldn't necessarily have looked at Poodle initially, but because Poodle links to gaming then links to Poodle, if and it becomes a cycle like that. For people who don't particularly have any niche like that, then the charity angle is a great way to go. Just go to your local dog shelter, print off our Poodle logo, go to your local dog shelter, donate $10, take some food, whatever, just take something, get a picture, send it to us, we'll market it, we'll make an article about it, we will sell that and prove in a way that it's not just the token that's charitable and philanthropic, it's our community. And I know we are, because we've got a charity wallet, and we donate on a regular basis, but there's no substitute for people spending half an hour. Everybody must have a shelter with half an hour, something like that. Even if 5 people a month did it, for example, out of the whole of the community, what a great marketing campaign we could do around that. Because the benefit of that as well is it's not centralized, it's decentralized out in the community. One week it could be someone in South Korea, another week it's someone in Japan, and one week it's someone in the States, UK, Europe, Spain. Obviously Spain's in Europe, but we have holders all over the world, and that would truly show us as a global charitable token. And I would encourage anybody who has $10-20 to spare, to go out and do that.
Yep, I totally agree. I totally agree, because that's where we can have impact that we don't even see. And that's what we learned last week, right? Hearing about the kids who were able to get paired with dogs, service dogs that we never realized. We were giving money and we knew it was a good thing to do, but then when you hear the impact, and you're right, someone go down to your local shelter, give a little bit, do that, get the word out of what we do and who we are, but also know that that little bit you're giving, it will impact someone. Maybe you will never know it, but it's going to impact lives. And I think that that is a huge thing that we have. And I think, like, for me, especially when you look at all these kind of random new tokens popping up, there's always, oh, what's new and hot? How about this? What has survived and what's growing and what has a purpose, right? Let's get out of what's new and hot, and let's get into what actually, is something that's creating good, doing good, and building on its portfolio. Everybody has heard today about all these great things coming down the line that we are going to move and shake the world of, what a token can do, and what, NFTs, the way our brand is going to get involved in the future of technology. So my question for you now, as we kind of start to, I know I had a feeling we were going to run long, but I want to ask you one more question. The question is this: talk to people who are still curious about the whole, cryptocurrency. I'm afraid to invest. I hear people kind of get into it. Maybe they've only done Bitcoin. They've never done anything else. Can you talk to them about, why crypto anyway? And especially then, why Poodle? What's the differentiator?
Okay. I mean, I have to be, honest and realistic here in terms of my advice, and I gave it to Dr. Kryptonite earlier on in a Twitter room. Invest what you can. Don't invest so much that you have shitloads of Poodle and no furniture. However, skip the lottery. Skip, even if you play the lottery, skip it for a few weeks. Put 20, $50, whatever, in Poodle. One, you're doing good. Some of that money is going to go and make a real difference to someone else, or whether it's a dog or whether it's a disabled kid. It will give you something to to hold for the future, and we are going to increase in value. With some of the plans that we've got, there's no way that we're staying where we are. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. We are here for 5 years. The difference between us and a lot of the other smaller tokens, let's say the small caps to start with, we've got 5 years locked liquidity. That means that money will not be taken out for 5 years. So Poodle will be around for that period minimum. Yeah. So in terms of looking down the road at, is my investment safe? Yes, absolutely, it is safe. Of course, the price can go up. Of course, it can go down. There's a risk with everything, but that's why you've got to invest in a project where A, you have confidence in the team. B, it's something that you believe in and that you believe has potential. And C, you have to invest what you can afford. We all certainly sometimes go a little bit overboard, and we get caught up in it. But at the end of the day, invest what you're comfortable with. If you're looking for an investment, I mean, let's face it, if I put 10 grand in the bank now, I'd have 10 grand and 50 cents in a year's time. Yep. If I invest 1 grand in Bitcoin, it may possibly do a 4 times. If everything goes perfect, it might be 4 times higher than it is today. Yeah. If I invest $100 in Poodle and we eat 3 zeros, for example, I can't, off the top of my head, I've either got 3 grand or 30 grand, but I've got a hell of a lot more than I would have from a percentage return from any of those other options. So, the big tokens are where, you may believe you have more stability from a market perspective, but in reality, if we look, Bitcoin's down 50%. Ethereum is has lost some value recently. So-called stable coins are not as stable as people like to believe. But the flip side of that is they don't have the growth potential that we have. We have so many zeros to eat. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Poodler put in the room earlier, and I don't know how much they hold. But if we eat 3 or 4 zeros, they've got $19 million. That's a life-changing opportunity. And, this is a great project. I've seen lots of projects out there. I also do competitive analysis. I look at, other tokens, see what they're doing, see what they're up to, because that's part of my role, to see where we are. And I don't think any of them have got, as an attractive forward-looking offering as we have.
Yep, I totally agree with that. And it's so interesting. So I guess I want to say, well, thank you for joining. And I think that is a good way of concluding it, because I think we have to look at potential, right? And if people are looking at, and again, here's the hashtag, do your own research, not financial advice, for entertainment purposes only, yada, yada, yada. But I also think if you are looking to get into something and you're looking at potential, like you just said, if you want to make any good money, first off, you want to make really, really good money in a normal bank, you'd have to put a heck of a lot of money in just to get back enough to maybe live on. If you put it in Bitcoin, you still have to put in a lot of money just to make a double or a triple or a quadruple. But in this, you could really put in very little and feel like you're actually doing something for it, right? You buy Bitcoin or you put money in your bank account. You're not doing anything to help it grow. You put money into Poodle and you join the community and you get involved in our community and you find ways to contribute your skills to the project. Now you're investing not only in the token, but you're investing in yourself. And then, as you mentioned, kill 3 zeros. By the way, I mean, who doesn't want 1,000 times whatever they just put in? Okay, that's potential. And that's where I think where that to me is our differentiator. What makes Poodle different than all of the other tokens? The fact we have potential. A lot of them don't. Their potential is that it's going to go up really quick. Well, duh. That's what happens on the first day of every one of them until the people sell, and then everybody takes that. Really quick. Yeah, and it's the people, and the average person isn't prepared, smart enough, equipped, and I don't want to say smart enough, but you know what I mean, like to know how all that works to actually make a profit on it. And so I think that's really where I see huge potential for us and a chance to completely differentiate. So again, I just want to say thank you. Do you have any last final words? I mean, I'd tell you how people get a hold of you, but I'm not going to do that. So just any last final words for everybody?
Well, there's one thing, Joe. Just check your Telegram. I'm just about to send you something which you might find interesting.
Okay.
1 second.
We're doing live changes here, everybody. This is how live this show is. I'm checking my Telegram as we go. And by the way, for those who have not joined the Telegram, make sure you.
So just to give people an idea of some of the stuff that's coming, it should be in your Telegram now.
Oh, nice.
We talked about the.
Can I put this up right now?
Yeah, I think I think the rest of the team won't mind if I make an executive decision and give you guys a sneak peek.
All right.
Of one of the.
All right, so I am going to put. So here we go. Let me find it here. Desktop that. There we go.
By the way, this is one of many. We'll have probably 15, 20 designs.
Check.
Limited edition.
Check that out, everyone. I know I'm just kind of throwing this over the top of the screen, but there's some of those crypto kicks, Nikes with the, I love that, a little black and white. That's my style right there. This is fantastic, everyone. This is the type of stuff that's coming down the line, which is just incredible. So I feel like I'm like breaking news now. Look at this. Here we go. I'll even put this up.
I'm talking to you, and I see that come through on my drop down. So it's literally we're flying by the seat of our pants here. But we're a young, dynamic passionate team, and we want to show our community some of the kind of the things that we're working on.
That is fantastic. And by the way, I love the space dog in the chat that Joe's going to get rickrolled in a second. I wouldn't be surprised if I was in a minute already. But this was fantastic. Thank you for that break. See, I'm glad we went late so we could show that to people. I'm looking forward to seeing those coming out. I'm looking forward to wasting a lot of money on them. Spending and investing on them. No, but this is fantastic, and I love it. I mean, everyone knows that I'm a big fan of everything we do, and especially I'll just say a very big kudos to you and the admin team for all that you do, all that you've put up with, all that you've navigated through. I couldn't imagine it. I just get to be the guy on the side here, having fun on a podcast.
And to you, this is a great show. It's a great asset. We're going to also promote this more heavily, because this is such a great way for us to communicate, for us to speak to the community to give feedback. And, I also want to give kudos to the admin, to the mod team, because they're the guys that do a lot of the work as well in the room, in our various Telegram rooms, and helping new people out. We are by far the friendliest, most open and welcoming community in crypto. And that's absolutely no question. I've been in a lot of rooms, and this is by far the best. Yeah. And I think I'll probably leave you on that note.
I love it. Thank you so much. And on that note, I think that's the perfect way to end. My last little note to everyone: flash sale ending very, very, very soon. Make sure you get in that. I'm going to try to get the podcast up and loaded right away so people hear about it if you are subscribed. We are on iHeartRadio now, everybody. We live at 12 p.m. for me, 1900 every Wednesday, 1900 UTC, and then posted on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, and now iHeartRadio. Listen, subscribe, tell a billion of your closest friends, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.